Well, hello everyone and welcome to Paper Reviews, and wow, the lyrics of that song have never applied more. Do you feel how I feel? Used and abused by the WWE with the return of CM Punk. We just had a 2-hour, 45-minute show that, let's be honest, was pretty damn good from start to finish. And none of it matters. None of it. Not a damn thing that happened on this show matters anymore.
Right?
4 minutes at the end of the show will overtake what a fantastic show this was.
Right?
Best. Give me your thoughts. We've had 7 minutes to collect them. Give me your thoughts.
Geez. I still can't do it. Just wow. Like what the... I feel like how I did when I watched MLW a couple weeks ago with Bobby and Parrish with Hammerstone, but just on a whole other level with that one, you know.
We do want to go ahead and shout out Chris Parrish. Thank you for sending the viewers from your watch party. We greatly appreciate it. You are a valuable member of this group, and we appreciate you sending your people here after your watch party. Hope everybody enjoyed it. OMD,
Mr. Ed.
your thoughts? CM Punk is back in the WWE.
Disappointed. Honestly, I'm so tired of CM Punk and him just captivating the news headlines when he doesn't do anything but complain. But I can't disagree with you. I mean, that completely upstaged the entire PLE.
So I'm not a Punk guy. I've never really been a Punk guy. I thought Punk did a lot of good work. I'll never detract from the work Punk's done.
Right.
The work in Ring of Honor, the work in ECW, the work in WWE. He has done amazing things. I didn't watch any of the things he did in AEW. I know the dog collar match is fantastic. I've seen bits of it. I know he did good work there too.
Right.
The thing that's different about him coming here, in my mind, to him going there, is he's not coming here to put over younger stars. He's not coming here to be a veteran to give something back to the community.
Right.
This is him coming back for him.
Yeah.
This is the ability of him to come back and get those moments that he wants left before he leaves the business.
Right.
This is the thing that scares me, is that 60 days ago, when he was calling some MMA event, he said, in 60 days, you'll know. And I called it that he was going to show up at Survivor Series.
I mean, everybody talked about the signs were there, the X in the smoke and all. I thought it was all gibberish. I really did. I paid no attention. I didn't think they would possibly do it.
Right. I even saw there was, pictures floating around of the merch booth and, the Chicago flag saying I was there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? It could just mean, you're in Chicago using the city flag.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a good friend Throwback in the chat saying, by the way, the Roundtable guys, Bad Blood, said Punk said, fuck AEW. We're going to get Rollins versus Punk. I don't think we're getting Roman versus... Let's pump the brakes on Roman versus Punk for right now.
Yes.
We're definitely getting Rollins versus Punk.
I didn't even factor that in.
That's our Mania Night 1 main event. The cancer that is CM Punk, Seth's words, not mine. I may agree with them, but those are Seth's words.
Right.
That CM Punk is a cancer to the wrestling business.
Yes.
Versus for the Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title, main eventing Night 1, which gives CM Punk one thing he never had, which is
Royal Rumble.
No, I don't think he needs it. I think he walks right into it.
It gives him his WrestleMania main event that he wanted 10 years ago.
Bingo. That's what it gives him. They give him Night 1 of WrestleMania, which unfortunately means we're probably not getting a female main evented WrestleMania at all this year. We didn't have one last year
unless
either.
Night 2.
No, because you got to assume Night 2 is going to be main evented by Roman.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Whew. We've got Astrid saying Rollins losing to Punk, I'd cry. I don't know if Punk will win, but I sure as hell think he'll be in the main event against Rollins. That seems to be it is. Hunter, R-Truth is back. I think that should be enough right there. Talk about R-Truth, because I thought that was great. Punk versus Rollins haven't main evented. Yeah, neither Punk nor Rollins has ever main evented a WrestleMania.
No, they have not.
So it will be interesting. All right. We're going to leave CM Punk over here for right now.
Yes.
And we're going to try to talk about the rest of the show because this was a hell of a show.
Oh, yeah.
We open with the women's war games. Damage Control versus Charlotte, Becky, Shotzi, and Bianca. OMG, what did you think of this women's War Games match here?
I thought it was a fantastic match. Some weird spots. I mean, Kyrie's dive with a trash can on her.
You mean EOS?
EOS, yeah.
The second time she's done it, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But again, hell of a match, hell of a spot. The Charlotte and Becky hug sort of 3/4 of the way through the match to either, I don't know if it was to bury the hatchet or just for show.
Either way, it was nice. I appreciated it either way. I thought it was a good storytelling element.
But I think they really planted the seeds with the finish for kicking Bayley out of Damage Control. I was sort of waiting for it tonight. Now, thankfully, I was wrong, and they didn't bring back Boston's own Sasha Banks tonight, because I was waiting. I was fully expecting that.
Yeah. I mean, she was a lot more unlikely. I thought she was a whole lot less likely than CM Punk to show up tonight, but
because I could have seen, with Dakota doing her interference early and then sort of disappearing, like, why didn't she interfere later on in the match and provide that difference? Because then you could have seen the 4 horsewomen stand together against Asuka, Io, and Kyrie with Dakota.
Yeah. Best, what about your thoughts?
So this match was the first half of this match was pixelated for me. I totally felt like a kid watching a PLE in the 90s because of, I guess there was a problem with the live feed, but I was thoroughly still entertained by everything that happened here. Though I did not get the one spot I wanted to see, which was Kyrie doing her insane elbow off the top rope. But I did like that back body drop into the elbow that she did on the chair there. The Io Sky dive off the top with the trash can. I kind of did not want to see that spot. I wanted to see her do something different because she's been known to dive off the cage in her previous War Games matches. She's done it every time she's been in there. But all in all, this was thoroughly entertaining. The Becky hug was just awesome. The Becky Charlotte hug was awesome. This was a great way to start off the show.
Yeah, I thought that WWE planned this whole card out very well with this moment, doing exactly what it needed to do. It makes the babyface team look strong because those girls could use a strong push. Damage Control, while yes, they could use a win, if you're telling the story of Bayley getting kicked out of Damage Control, her eating another pin, regardless how believable it is that she ate everybody's finish on the way to that pin, makes it more believable.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that, you can buy time. You can kick that can of Damage Control needing wins after win after win down the road a bit if you're telling the story of Bayley constantly letting them down. Meanwhile, she was the star of this match.
Oh yeah.
As Asher said, the amount of
100%.
times she saved this match to get hit with the kiss of death, to get hit with the spear, to get put through the table with the man's handle slam to end the match. Just
yeah.
And also, I like this was the plunder match. I like that this was the plunder match.
Yeah.
The men's match, while yes, it had a few odds and ends of pieces, the majority of the weapon usage for the night in terms of the War Games matches was cultivated in this match.
Yes.
Did anybody stand out to you beyond, I mean, for me it was Bayley, but maybe somebody other than Bayley stand out to either of you guys?
I got to say Bayley as well, because I loved that finish there. I kind of loved how she kind of had this like, give me mercy kind of thing going on when they were planning her for the finish. She was like, no, please, don't do it. You know, I really liked that. But other than Bayley, I found myself being very entertained by Kairi Sane again, just because I love Kairi.
OMD?
For me, it was Dakota stood out. I mean, interfering early and then sort of vanishing. And again, not interfering late when she could have made the difference. And it's, like, where's Dakota? What's she doing now? Like, why is she not getting involved? I mean, I can understand her not coming into the cage, not trying to come off the top with her knee.
Yeah,
But
I thought Dakota was going to be the X factor in this match too.
And I think she was. I mean, they teased it early. They had her help get the trash can up. By the way, creative spot of the night, using the chain that Io brings to reel up like a fish the trash can from the bottom. And
that was fantastic.
Fun of the night, Kairi's entrance where she's just like plank walking down to the ring with her arms out. I mean, I've always loved Kairi. I think Kairi's adorable.
There was a part of me that thought she was channeling her inner Tatanka when she made her way to the ring.
Any other thoughts on the much-deserved win for the babyface team here with Becky Lynch scoring the pinfall on Bayley?
I'm trying to think here. Like, I liked Bayley taking the pin. I liked her saving everybody else so that she took the pin, like she took the hit. So I feel like on SmackDown, she's going to come out and kind of boast about that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. She pushes Kairi out right at the end before she takes that spear that leads to the end of the match. Yeah. She's the one who pushes Kairi out of the way.
Yeah. I know, like, I do think that Becky did not need to be the one to get the pin. I think it should have gone to somebody more like Shotzi to give her that exposure. She put up a hell of a fight, did her best with put on a fantastic showing with the Mist and after taking that. And so I think she should have been the one to sort of hit the finish, get the pin, as opposed to Becky, Bianca, or Charlotte with the star power that they already have.
Yeah, and that's the other spot I like too, where Asuka was about to miss Bianca, but Bianca caught her with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun there. Moving on, we get a backstage segment for Ruffles we got Alpha Academy on the couch, we got Piper Niven, we got Chelsea Green all on the couch eating their chips, and then in comes Pretty Deadly, which I thought was great, and they have an argument about the English pronunciation versus the American pronunciation of chips versus crisps. Yeah. And then the bowl falls over. We go behind the couch to reveal the big return of the evening. Oh, I was hoping. R-Truth is back. I'm so happy that he's back for stuff like this.
Right? Absolutely.
He says, I never left, which is even more hysterical for R-Truth. We ain't seen him in over a year and a half. He's like, I never left. Just great.
Right. R-Truth is golden no matter what he does.
He is, and I'm gonna laugh or point this out because Bubba was sitting here beside me and he asked me when Pretty Deadly walked in, is that the new Breezango?
I love Pretty Deadly. Like they're not quite Breezango, but they're definitely a version of a little bit of a version of How They Breeze, a different version. But they've got that vibe. I can see the comparison.
I get Disco Inferno vibes when they come down with that disco ball hanging above the ring now.
Right.
Let's not talk about Glenn. We don't need to talk about Glenn tonight. We then get a backstage segment where Sami Zayn is talking to Jey Uso, and they're talking about the fact that Randy's not here yet. Is Randy going to be here in time? And they don't know what's going to happen. Jey says he's going to go talk to Cody and find out more. So we move on to the Intercontinental title match. And for anybody who saw the preview show, I was certain that Miz was going to win here. And that near fall got me.
Right?
I'm going to tell you right now, I thought with the kick to the balls and the skull-crushing finale, I thought they were going to give him the title. And
I did too.
Ecstatic.
I bit hard. I was hook, line, and sinker on that. But again, a fantastic match the wrestling and the entertainment and the showmanship between the both of them.
The smarts of the Miz to go ahead and target Gunther's legs to prep for that figure, which by the way, we never saw. Like, I think there's another level to this match that we might see again.
Yes.
Maybe on a Raw or something in the coming weeks, because we now have a break between now. We have almost 2 months until Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yes.
Royal Rumble is the 27th of January. So it is going to be a bit of a break as we get to that road. So I can see Gunther having 1, maybe 2 title defenses on Raw.
Absolutely.
Probably one of those probably being the Miz. And I think that's where we're going to get the figure 4 brought out, like the official, like him really bringing it out and getting that even closer to winning. Yeah, Gunther's fantastic. I've never tried to take away the fact that Gunther's fantastic.
No. But I mean, Gunther sold, and Gunther's entertainment level, for as much as he talks about the sport and the mat is sacred, nobody really appreciates or points out how much of an entertainer he truly is.
The clash of styles really works well here for these two. Like, people look at it and they go, Miz versus Gunther. How is this going to be entertaining? But you forget just how damn good the Miz can be. And his stupid shtick works, especially with a guy who has, like, no laugh, just stone-faced, straight-up Gunther. The Miz's stuff works so well on something like that. And I still say it. The Miz is the greatest Intercontinental Champion in history. Like, I will continue to defend this statement that I believe that the Miz is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Absolutely. All he needs, and the one thing that would solidify that would be for him to tie the record and get that 9th Intercontinental Championship.
We do have a friend running in here with Chris Parrish, who chose now to go ahead and ask if he can join.
Well, I'm watching the press conference as well, and Triple H was just asked about Julia. So, I wanted to watch some of that because this has to be the biggest press conference people care about right now.
Throwback to us, the CM Punk shirt is already on the shop.
Our debate yesterday was quite amazing, but that was a good match. That was a really good match.
I think, like, as soon as I saw Miz take the beginning of this match, I was like, ooh, Parrish is going to kind of love this, kind of hate this, because you wanted him squashed like a bug. And that's
what I thought we were going to get.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we didn't get, is Miz kind of squashed like a bug.
I did not think we were getting a squash match in this.
I mean,
if there was going to be one, it was going to be here. We'll be honest.
I don't believe they would have done a squash.
No.
Oh, come on.
What I mean, though, it would have been like a squash with Miz still getting his stuff in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to say that I think it was so fun to see Miz pulling so much history into his shtick tonight with using the rollback spot on the sleeper hold, like they mentioned, Brett and Roddy.
Right.
Going ahead and using the draping figure 4 on the leg around the post. Just that Bret Hart stuff. Talking about how Miz, while yes, he's a goofball, while yes, he's an idiot, at the same point, he's a Hall of Fame wrestler. He's a 2-time Grand Slam, champion. Like, this dude is one of the best. Because he mixes the ability to wrestle just good enough that people forget how good he is with being one of the most entertaining dudes who can go out there and have a match like this and tomorrow be back on every talk show promoting Raw for Monday night.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's what I liked about this match was the 2 different styles. We had the wrestler versus the entertainer, and that was the story that was told in this match. And I think in retrospect, I absolutely love what they did in this match.
And you know, that acknowledgement of respect at the end from Gunther, even though it wasn't a handshake, but him sort of standing there and looking over the Miz and nodding his head, saying, well, I was wrong.
And I think that this still leads to a rematch somewhere down the road, as you have mentioned, Ed, on an episode of Raw somewhere.
Yeah, and I like it. I'm looking at. I'm using. I'll be honest. I'm using the Bleacher Report to kind of. I didn't take notes tonight. I forgot to take notes, so I'm using this to kind of gauge my thing. But the opening sentence that they use here is very great. Gunther will never underestimate The Miz again following Saturday's grueling Intercontinental Championship defense. Luckily, despite his early hubris, the ring general found himself in a fight against the scrappy, resilient veteran challenger.
Yes.
I think that's great. It's the perfect story that you tell with Gunther, is he thinks he's so great that he overlooks a Hall of Fame caliber wrestler, and it almost costs him. And again, I still think that the best way to end Gunther's reign is to give this title to The Miz and let him cross off those accomplishments. Let him get that 9th title reign. Let him become the longest the total days reigning Intercontinental Champion. Let Gunther. But now we have a big question with that cookie hole shaped thing in the room. Cookie Monster Punk is, well, the world title is spoken for now. So what do you do with Gunther if you don't keep him with the Intercontinental Championship?
Well, you put one of those big names, whether it's Randy or Punk, to SmackDown. Easy. Right? You have to think that.
Yeah, you would have
In
to.
fact, you can even move them both. You really could. I think Jey Uso is the next guy for the Intercontinental title. I think he's that next challenger for Gunther.
That would work.
And even not, still give me Randy Orton. If we're not going to do Randy Orton against a world champion, give me Randy Orton versus Gunther.
Yes.
Yeah.
It may be too soon to put the belt on him, but what if we got Gunther and CM Punk at Mania?
You can't not do Rollins. Like it's too much of a no-brainer. You can't not do Rollins, right? Like, as long as both guys are willing to do business, you can't not do Rollins here, right? You almost have, I hate to say that, like, when you're wrestling booking, you don't have to do anything. But my God, how stupid would it be to not do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got the champion. Like, do you take the title off Rollins and just have it be non-title?
it depends if you actually think like Gunther and Rollins are going to be a world title match.
Yeah.
I think that's the big question. Does Seth Rollins hold that title to WrestleMania? And I don't. Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, I said it to the end of the show. Just when we thought we knew where this was going, we don't. We have no clue now. We're ending this year in an influx of idea of how we thought the road to WrestleMania was going to begin. We don't know anymore. This is the most unpredictable WWE has been in a long time.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's definitely not a bad thing.
The wrestling scene nowadays,
Right?
unbelievable. This, I think, is trumping and maybe in the process of trumping the Attitude Era.
I mean, think about it. On the WWE roster, if CM Punk isn't just a one-off appearance just to pop the crowd, which, by the way, would be a stroke of genius for everybody to get involved and be like, here's $100,000. Just show up and come out.
Right?
Ed, how much do you want to hear Tom Colley say that he was wrong now because CM Punk showed up?
I already listened.
I know. How much did that make you like smile?
Monday's going to be an interesting show. Because I'll go ahead and say it. This is what he said towards the end of his show when Punk returned. I don't hear everything. I don't know everything. Sometimes I get things wrong.
I love that about him.
Yeah.
Because so many people are going to be like, oh, I never said he wasn't coming. I said there was a chance. And it's just nice to have people like, look, I said he wasn't coming. He came. Like, okay.
Right?
Moving on. We got
Ed,
Santos.
Before we go on,
Yeah.
based on what we talked about last time with the Intercontinental title,
Mhm.
I want to kind of think. I want to think if we can have a truce.
Yeah.
Because I know You think one way, I think of the other way. That's fine. We're cool. That's
Agreed.
the
Oh, absolutely. Agree to disagree. That's the joy of
Miz,
wrestling. Have
the
different.
Miz made the Intercontinental title the most relevant it's ever been when he was champion, while Gunther is making it the most decorated that it's ever been in his reign.
I can agree with that. I
Okay.
think that's a very agreeable statement.
Yep.
Peace made. The paper.
A match that was a little bit shorter than I'd hoped for. Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. I love the fact that Dragon Lee got a big stage to go ahead and have a match.
Yep.
And I thought that they gave him a nice showcase. I wish it was 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I could have used about another 5 minutes in that match too. However, I am happy that Santos Escobar went over clean, as opposed to having, as Parrish had hoped for, Los Lotharios coming out to help out Santos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm with you, Ed. I agree that it was nice to see Dragon Lee get that PLE spot. I think they should have put him over with 5 more minutes as opposed to Santos.
But I mean, with
just
Santos
in this-
right now, he's a new heel, right? So
yeah,
you
but
kind of
just-
want to build him.
But just in this situation, you can have him go over because, you get this last minute substitution that Santos isn't prepared for that gives him something more to bitch about.
I get you. I think that there's more than enough time in Dragon Lee's career right now to go ahead and make him one loss will not hurt him. I think you can go ahead and rerun this match on SmackDown. Have the big smudge where you have guys coming in and out. Let Dragon Lee get one up on him. And then you start bringing in Los Lotharios and you bring in other people to go ahead and run with Santos. I think that there's a way to do that. I thought that tonight you needed to put that stamp of approval on Santos's heel turn. You need to put that stamp of approval on, we're going with this guy. We're going to do something with this. And they did it decisively. Like he didn't dominate the match, but he dominated the match. Like Dragon Lee got his moments and had his near falls, but it never really felt like Dragon Lee was really going to win that match.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I said this earlier, and I think this is the beginning of one of the greatest feuds we're gonna say in the next 5 to 10 years. This gave me true Ray versus Eddie vibes, in the sense of how each man was being portrayed. We think Dragon Lee is probably the next version of Ray in the WWE. He's not going to be Ray. Ray is, in my opinion, the greatest luchador, the greatest cruiserweight of all time. If you talk about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, you don't include Rey Mysterio, I think you're more drunk than me. But
And that's very drunk because Parrish has been drinking beers all night on the watch along.
I've only had two.
But have you drank anything other than beers on the watch along?
Yeah, I had a Monster.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
All right.
And I had a smoothie.
I stand corrected.
I've lost weight in the last week. I'm proud. But yeah, this I think is really monumental to the both of them. Santos Escobar getting that win in what I thought was exclamation point dominant fashion. Not like dominant as in he dominated, but a dominant win. It was an exclamation point he put on. This was exactly what I think a lot of us wanted for Santos Escobar. What he needed, what he should have got, this is exactly what happened. I loved it for him. Dragon Lee is going to be a star.
Yeah.
But it's not his time now. It's Santos Escobar's time now. And I thought it was amazing. These guys work amazing together. And the single fact that they didn't give us a 5-star performance, but we all know they can, just makes the next time they have a match so much more important. I think this was a great first-time match on the main roster for these guys.
Yeah, this match was basically the appetizer to their feud, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things I really like about this, and it goes back to commentary. I think it was Michael Cole, if I remember correctly. It might have been Grace, but I'm almost certain it was Cole, who talked about how Dragon Lee is showing all these, the real lucha style, the flips, everything else. And they're like, don't forget, Santos can do all of that. He's
Yeah.
choosing not to. And I thought that was a really interesting point, how commentary chose to treat Santos Escobar in this match. Like I said, 5 more minutes might have really kicked this match up another gear. And we had time because the main event ended at 47. Punk debuts at 54.
Yeah.
We had time.
I actually wanted more time given to Zoe and Rhea, if you ask me. Yeah.
We'll get right to that in a minute. Any lasting thoughts on... Well, I do have one lasting thought. Did anybody else think that Santos Escobar forgot his serape and just cut a hole in a rug?
No. Because I thought that's about the entire time he's been doing it.
It looked like a rug that he just cut a hole through to put his head in.
I mean, isn't that not maybe more aesthetically easier to make? Just make a rug and I'll just cut a hole.
I tested that joke with Astrid. It got the approval that it wasn't disrespectful, so I went ahead and I made sure. Hey, any lasting thoughts on Santos versus Dragon Lee?
Yes, Santos is in prime for the run of his life, and Dragon Lee is going to be an absolute star. I can't wait to watch it.
Could we put Santos as into that category of maybe getting pushed to the level of the next Sami Zayn?
I don't think he's Sami Zayn level. I'd say right now, I think he's a competent challenger for a babyface with the... I think he's a competent challenger for LA Knight post WrestleMania in the United States Championship division. I think Santos is a perfect heel for that post Mania. When you get done with this Ray story that I assume culminates around WrestleMania, I think in Paris, Santos versus LA Knight for the US title might not be a bad story to tell.
I want Santos Escobar to win the 2024 Money in the Bank.
I could be down for that. I could be convinced of that. Anybody else have any thoughts here?
No, you guys said all my thoughts, so.
Well, Chris, we'll go ahead and let you get the first thoughts here. I know Paris said he had some, but we'll go ahead and let you get the first thoughts here. Rhea Ripley takes on Zoe Stark in another singles match debut for a young talent getting their premium live event sort of debut. I mean, she's been on PLEs before, but this is her first singles match. We have Dragon Lee getting his first match on a premium live event that wasn't NXT. And we have, in the main event, we'll have JD McDonough making his premium live event debut. So 3 of those tonight. What did you think of Zoe Stark versus Rhea Ripley, Mr. Chris Best?
So this was a match I was totally looking forward to. And it did not disappoint. But as Paris said, I do wish that there was maybe 5, maybe 7 more minutes to this match. It left me wanting more, but I'm glad it left me wanting more because, as I stated on the watch along alongside Parrish, I want there to be a rematch between these 2-3 weeks down the road at Raw. The one thing that did bug me about this match was the crowd was not into it, and they should have been because this was fantastic wrestling all around between the 2 women.
That's the first time we brought it up, and I'll bring it up to the rest of the crew. The crowd. I didn't hear much CM Punk in my own head through the TV screen until about this point. This is the point where I started hearing the real CM Punk chant start. Did anybody else notice that themselves?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't because I didn't have the volume really high on my end because I didn't want to have that judgment with this room. And because of that, I think I like the match more, and I might even start doing that more often. I thought Chicago was looking for a scapegoat to chant CM Punk. I think they do that all the time when pro wrestling enters their city and CM Punk is not in their vision yet. They picked a stupid time to do this. Mm-hmm. Because Zoe Stark and Rhea Ripley, in my opinion, they should have had more time. They put on a great performance, and I thought Zoe Stark cemented her position as somebody who you should take a risk on in this division. Rhea Ripley, we all know how good she is. Zoe Stark not only put herself on the map, but she booked premium seats on the airplane to go wherever she wants after this performance, because I thought she did exactly what she needed to do to make people care about what she does inside the ring.
OMD, your thoughts on Zoe Stark versus Rhea Ripley?
This, for me, was the weakest match of the night. A lot of mistakes and botches that I found, and a lot of the green in Zoe Stark really came out. Now, that can be forgiven being a PLE singles debut. So the nerves, it was like that move off the top rope where we didn't know who got it worse, whether it was her or Rhea. It was her jump to try and go over the top rope at the beginning of the match, and it was just rushed. And I think they were trying to, it felt to me like they were trying to get in and get that match done and out of the way.
I thought this match was good. I didn't notice any obvious, and maybe that's just attention to detail on this one. I didn't really notice anything unpleasing to the eye during the match. I didn't notice any botches that really caught my eye and was like, oh, that's a bad spot. Oh, that wasn't. I didn't notice any of that. I saw Zoe going out there and having the time of her life. Rhea Ripley really leading this match and keeping her under control, and a lot of the things that they wanted to get done got done. I think Zoe is a bigger star after having lost to Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea took just enough time. I don't think I need this first match doesn't need to be any longer than it was. I think we can set up for a longer match a little bit more down the line. Give these women 20, 25 minutes on Raw, I think could be a bunch of fun. We already had a big, lengthy women's match with the WARGAMES match. So we knew that this Rhea Ripley Zoe Stark match was going to get a little bit of time cut because you only have so much time. 5 matches, 2 hours, 45 minutes, essentially. They did a really good job of keeping everything crisp, clean, and moving, including the WARGAMES matches.
And whereas you guys alluded to it earlier about the squash match being Gunther Miz, I think that this one probably would have been more of that squash match position just for Rhea to show her dominance.
I like that Rhea. I think that there's a good story to be told with Rhea constantly having to take more and more time to defeat these challenges as they come by the fact that she's too distracted.
Right.
She's trying to lead Judgment Day. She's Dom Dom's mommy. She's trying to figure all that out. Oh, by the way, I'm also the women's world heavyweight champion. And I'm trying to deal with my own business on top of dealing with all these boys who can't fucking get their shit together.
Right.
I love the idea of her constantly taking a bit longer and a bit longer. Like we saw early in her run, she beats Natalya in, what was it, like 2.5 minutes?
Yep.
In that first title defense that she had post-Mania. And progressively, it's been getting a little longer and a little longer. Bigger challenges being put in her path. And I like the idea of going ahead and building a Zoe Stark off of Rhea. Because Zoe Stark, there's no reason why she needs to win this match.
Right.
But it's about get her out there, get her in front of our crowd, and get people to understand who and what she is, what she can do, and see if she can live up to the moment. Not everybody's going to love it. OMD says he found a couple spots that he didn't like. That's fine.
Yep.
Every card, no matter how good the card is going to have a match that's slightly weaker than the rest.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is where OMD throws that spot here, that's fine, because in a 5-match card, there's only 5 places you can put that weak match.
Right.
And all these matches are way above average. So.
And if that was your weak match of the night, that's a pretty good weak match of the night to have, in my opinion. Were there some questionable spots, maybe questionable decisions? Sure, but I didn't think from a technical standpoint, anybody did anything incorrect. I thought maybe it was just more. I don't think anything was rushed. I think they were forced. I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I find out that their match got cut
Right.
a little bit, and they tried to have maybe a hot start or something like that, and it just
Right.
didn't work.
I think-
And that's not on anybody's fault. That's just, it's like when you watch any other sport and you have a plan, 9 times out of 10 it'll work. That's the one time it doesn't.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. I mean, for me, this match was the trying to put 20 pounds of potatoes into a 10-pound bag.
Yeah, and see, for me with this match, I kind of liked Zoe Stark's aggressiveness, which is what we should have gotten when Raquel Rodriguez was challenging Rhea Ripley for the title. I mean, because that build had her doing all this aggressive stuff leading up to the match, and we didn't get it there. But we should have got that.
All right. Any lasting thoughts on Rhea versus Zoe?
Just that I'm looking forward to the rematch.
Parrish?
I hope on Raw we see Shayna step up to Rhea.
Yeah.
That I think is a very compelling match.
Gentlemen, something has come across my screen, and I need to portray it in every ounce that it exists. From Triple H's own Twitter account, it's a mighty cold day in hell.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, if
let's throw this out there.
Yep.
When you see that photo, who's to say what WWE can and can't do anymore?
I mean, if you
as much as I even wanted that to happen, I never thought it was going to.
Can't wait until Punk says the company is run by the dude. Dude, I want that to be the first line of his promo on Monday.
It's so funny because I heard a thing that said Stephanie was backstage at Raw. And I'm just like, dear God. And I'm like, I think as soon as I heard that, there's part of me in my head, I'm like, something big's happening tonight. But like, how do you overshadow Randy Orton? Like, and I know
well, that's how you do it.
But like, it's okay. In a nutshell, I compared this to when AEW did Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole in the same night,
right?
And you had Adam Cole out, and then minutes later you had Bryan Danielson. At least here we got Randy Orton performance.
I was gonna say, at least Orton was in the match. He we didn't just debut, we didn't just return Randy moments before Punk. Like, Randy was involved in a match, advertised to be on the show. We knew we were getting Randy. Yeah. Punk is the big oh my god moment at the end.
They still shocked the crap out of everyone.
Yeah.
You put MLW with Hammerstone and that stuff, that shocks you. This shocks us. I think wrestling in general is telling all fans, you don't know what we know, and it makes the product an amazing amount better.
Yep. Rumors are already flying, unsubstantiated rumors. I want to talk about them, but I just can't until I get more confirmation on some of these things. Yeah. I'm hearing that CM Punk signed this deal less than an hour before the show started.
Wow.
Reportedly rumored, unsubstantiated rumors that it's a 3-year deal. I don't know how he lasts 3 years, but we'll get there. We now arrive at a backstage segment between the men's babyface WARGAMES team, where they're trying to figure out what the hell to do with Randy not being there still. and you hear the music that the War Games cage is coming down, and they all start heading to the ring, and Cody just looks like, Randy, don't do this to me, Randy. Like he just has that look on his face, like, oh God.
I loved in that segment the amount of Seth just saying, F it, we're going out there.
Yep.
And there's almost a point of like, I knew it. I can't trust this guy. I was right, but I'm still fighting because that's just what I do.
Also, the greatness of Jey Uso constantly in both of these backstage segments, and I wanted to save it for this one, saying that it's his fault that Randy's not here. It's my fault. Randy's mad at me. Randy doesn't want to be on a team with me. It's because of what we did to Randy is why he's not showing up. I love that they're setting that there.
Right.
They're telling us that so that when we get what we got in the match, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I love for the first time, we got real accountability when we really didn't need it, but it's just so much better when it happens. And it just makes you love Jey Uso that much more.
Right.
And again, I'm going to steal from the person who wrote the Bleacher Report, and I'm going to go up there and find it in just a minute what their name is. Pro wrestling, when done right, is the best. The main event of Survivor Series was done right.
Yep.
I mean, we can say everything else we want about it. Those two statements, single sentence statements, tell you everything you need to know about this match. Best. No, OMD. Let's go to OMD first. Your thoughts on the main event.
Again, absolutely loved this match. Just the way it was built, the way it was put together. It was fantastic. The story that was told, although some things did wind up becoming predictable, I was hoping for a little bit more of a surprise with Orton's return as to the way they did it, but it was still a fantastic pop. Great to see him come back.
Just going to say it. Shout out to Eric Beeston of Bleacher Report for those lines that I've been stealing from his review of the show. Sorry, OMD, you were saying?
You're not stealing. You're not trying.
No, there were like just some like phenomenal moments in this match, like the triple choke slam from Priest and Drew. That was beautiful. The 5-way DDT. Or the 5-way draping DDT.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done. Dom trying to do the three amigos, and then all of a sudden he's surrounded.
Oh.
It was a masterful story that got told in that match.
Best.
And the attempted cash-in.
Yeah.
Or the wanted cash-in.
Best.
Yeah, this match was just fun from bell to bell. Astrid pointing out one of my favorite spots, the triple choke slam. Dom coming in and just trying to beat up everybody before they all ganged up on him was fun to watch as well. He ran in there like he was a little kid trying to prove that he can, but he couldn't in the end. Rhea Ripley coming out and teasing that cash in right before Randy Orton makes his way out was just fantastic too. And she had me gripped. Like I thought there actually was going to be a cash in.
And the perfect time for it. Everybody's down. Nobody's standing except Judgment Day men. And Seth just got put through a table.
Yeah, Michael Cole was so good there, acknowledging, because like the camera wasn't in the ring. It was following Rhea around the ring. And then you see in the background Seth lying there in the table. And Michael Cole's like, and Seth Rollins just went through a table. The champion is down right now. Like, Michael Cole just tell me when you want your Hall of Fame year, and you got it.
Right.
By the way, that's the second most impressive thing that Michael Cole did tonight. Because I'm looking again. I'm watching Twitter while Parrish is watching the post-show press conference.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a Twitter video out right now from a fan who is sitting ringside where Seth is livid at CM Punk on the top of the ramp. And you want to know who's holding him back? It is Michael Cole and Corey Graves. He is flipping him off. He's yelling and screaming. It's all on mute because I don't want it to bleed into the show.
That is the best shoot work in a while.
Yeah. The referees aren't even really trying to stop him. Sammy and Cody are both standing behind him, just dude, calm down, whatever. And it's Cole who's latched on around Seth's waist. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna play it. Give me a second. Hold on.
Yes. Sorry, Facebook, we're doing it.
I'm more worried about Twitch, but
I'm not worried about it's YouTube and Facebook. I'm more worried about.
Hold on.
Who knows anything? They know everybody's leaving.
I'm really supposed to be hosting this show of us talking about the show, and I'm just watching Twitter and going, "Look at the thing burn."
But this is one of those moments where you have to look at what social media is doing right now. It's a crazy moment. Yeah, it's them at Mania.
Yeah.
So it's them at the Rumble.
Just Michael Cole, the strength of Michael Cole to hold back the world champion. And people buying it that he's legitimately. The best part is that people are buying that he's legitimately upset. It's if he were that upset, Michael Cole isn't the one person who's going to be able to hold this man back.
Okay, I've got this one just coming in. This is again no clarification. This is unsubstantiated. An area was cleared out backstage for CM Punk to walk through. No one in WWE from the staffers, creatives, and reps had an idea about CM Punk's return.
Triple H said at the post conference that he's I 100% think the people at TKO are just looking at this and being, what the? And it was hilarious. Also, Cody Rhodes stole the show at the press conference because
apparently he imitated Triple H.
Oh, it was so good. And everybody has to watch this. Cody Rhodes, you're a gem, man. You're a gem. And your gear was amazing tonight. But let's
go back to the main event before we get more CM Punk talk.
What I thought was hilarious, and we were saying this during the watch along. It seemed like they were just choosing one ring for a bit and then saying, "Oh no, now we're going to go to the other one," and then they're flip flopping. They weren't really and then all of a sudden they started doing some. But what I loved about this match was it showed you how powerful Judgment Day was when they got the advantage, and then when things got squared up, that's when tables were turning. But once they had that advantage, it was clear how dominant of a faction they are. So it shows you how you can beat Judgment Day, but it also shows you how dangerous Judgment Day is when they have the numbers on their side. And I do think that plays a factor when we see Randy Orton going and he's doing his stomp, and then he turns to Jey Uso and he looks at him and be like, "You're the reason why I was out." It's those little things. And then just when they're arguing, somebody's approaching and Jey Uso super kicks them.
Right.
To showcase, he's a different human being. We got so much storytelling and so much detail in that storytelling and continuity within the storytelling that this match, I honestly think, could be one of the matches of the year. I really do. When you take all of that into consideration, they did everything right. That cash-in, we expected Randy Orton right away. People were chanting CM Punk because they were Chicago. And then we get Rhea Ripley. We get a cash in because we have a down champion and we have an opportunity of a lifetime for Damian Priest. And just when that briefcase is about to be handed, I have voices in my head and Chicago goes unglued.
Yep. I have to admit, I even asked Bubba as he was sitting here beside me, and I said, "What if they tease Cult of Personality and then have voices hit?" Just
Randy Orton would have
royally.
been booed out of the building then.
Yeah.
But that's that Chicago-St. Louis rivalry, right?
Yeah, you don't screw with. If you're gonna debut Punk, you have to wait. You have to do it all, and you just have to let it happen.
The way they did both Randy and CM Punk is exactly how you bring two people back in the same night, and you don't have it overshadow. Randy Orton came out and he looked as jacked as anybody could look jacked. And if that is not already an early favorite in the Rumble or an early favorite to challenge Roman Reigns for that title, oh my Lord, this guy, give him this opportunity. This guy is looking great in the ring, clear as day, still does it as perfect as anybody can do it. Randy Orton, in my eyes, could be one of the greatest men to ever do this. Such a great moment.
Yeah.
Old theme song, not the new one. Thank God. I loved it. And
Randy
I had to pause my stream and listen to the pop. That was amazing.
Right.
Not a lot of times you got it. That is that Road Warrior pop Steve Austin always talks about.
Right.
Yeah.
Randy looked even bigger than normal than he used to.
Well, that's what I mean by he was jacked. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was just.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it in a bad
you
way. I
can tell
mean, like, you
he'd
could
been
see
hitting
the
the gym.
size difference in his shoulders. And
Did we
And I
not
mean,
also set a record for the most second generations or third generation superstars in War Games tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We did indeed. I would
And that
imagine.
arc-
I can't
that-
think of any other match that comes even close.
Dominic Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Charlotte Flair.
that RKO from the top of the
Oh my,
JD on his
JD
little
would-
perch.
Oh my
JD
God.
getting tossed. Oh,
that Funko got popped there.
Oh, yeah.
right.
I want to talk about. I
That
want
one
to
is
talk.
for Astrid, by the way.
I want to talk about the unsung hero of this match. I want to talk about Damian Priest because I think this guy did a fantastic job in help leading this match. He was that big, tall, just bastard of a man, and the storytelling was great. With Jey Uso comes in second on the men's side, so we know we're getting Drew next on the other side, and he just puts out his hand and goes, "No, that's not the plan. We follow the plan." And Drew has an interesting. He says, "Whose plan is that?"
Yeah.
And Damian goes, "Not mine." So I'm very curious as to whose plan that was.
It's Mommy's. Has to be
Yeah.
Mommy's.
I thought Damian did such a good job in this match. This man, it's hard to believe that the guy, and Ashley will get a chuckle out of this. The guy who thought he'd live forever in partying with the chicks in the NXT parking lot with his hot tub when he was the North American champion is now this solidified in the main event.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
I had said that he needed. I thought that there was still one thing missing, and I thought he needed that cash in, even a short transitional reign as champion, to just keep him guaranteed in that main event scene. He doesn't.
No,
I think he's there one way or the other at this point now.
he needs that emotional way of getting there. He's getting there in the heelest way possible. That makes you almost. I hope he never gets it, but he will, and it's going to be amazing.
I'm going to put my two unsung heroes of that match in Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
Yeah, I thought those two did a really fantastic job. But it's just there's something special about Damian right now.
Oh, there is.
There's something special about the way he's working, the way his character is developing. Because the one thing Punishment Martinez and NXT Damian Priest was always missing was a bit of character, a bit of substance.
Yeah.
And we've got that now.
Yeah.
I feel like we've sunk into kind of who this guy is. And in tonight's match, it kind of came full circle. And I really enjoyed that and getting that opportunity there. Dominic Mysterio, by the way, bumps better than anybody in the business. Like, let's just remember that. A Dominic bumps better than anybody in the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's there's two things. One thing I want to say, but one thing I want to also wish I saw. One, how comfortable did Dominic Mysterio look behind those bars? Two, the one thing I wanted to see after we had that Damian Priest put his hand in to block Drew from going in, and he goes. I wanted to see almost something similar with Dom, only to be like, hand in, and then Drew just gives you that look, like, if you don't move, I'm killing you look. And then all he's just doing, hey, man, let's have fun. Good luck. Like, I just wanted him to do that. Like, that would have been priceless, because if Dominic Mysterio gets put in those situations more and more and more, I promise you, the fans are going to start turning on hating him and start loving him again, because he is. Everyone says Logan Paul earns your respect. No, Dominic Mysterio is earning the respect, by just going out there and hitting a home run every time. He is the most consistent member of Judgment Day outside of Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
right.
Also want to bring up Michael Cole's fantastic line in commentary when Dominic Mysterio was coming out of the cell. That's the longest he's ever been behind bars.
Yeah.
I mean, Cole, man. Oh, Michael Cole earned some points with me tonight.
Right.
All right.
I think one of my favorite spots in the match too is when Cody pulled out the rope there, the
bull
Texas
rope?
bull rope,
Yeah.
and he started playing Red Rover with the Judgment Day.
Also, like, so there's so much teased that, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, they teased Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes in a bull rope match.
Yep.
Like, I'm not wrong, right? That was one of the things teased in this match.
Well, that was one of the rumored matches that they were going to have too. If people remember back when they were doing their trilogy, that was a rumor of a match that they were having.
Yeah, and they settled on Hell in the Cell.
And then that got carried over to Cody and Brock.
And it still never happened. Cody still hasn't had his WWE bull rope match.
But it was such a great tribute to Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Really what it was. And it was the fact that it was Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, really Dusty's first true creation of NXT with his son. That was really, from a wrestling way, that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
All right. Any lasting thoughts on the match itself?
I'm so damn happy Randy Orton's back.
Right?
Yeah, me too.
Like, the last thing you want to see is somebody, like, when we talk about future Hall of Famers, future greats, Randy Orton is that guy.
Yeah.
The fact that he comes back, the fact that he is looking better than ever, the single fact that he changes the element of any solution or any problem, this guy is still a force.
How
and
many?
I cannot wait to see what he does moving forward.
How many different future first ballot Hall of Famers who are going to headline their own classes did we see tonight? Miz,
quite a few of them.
Gunther, Seth.
Gunther's
Rhea Ripley. Let's put Rhea Ripley in that conversation too.
I'm gonna get some heat for this one. I'm not ready to put Gunther in the Hall of Fame yet. I'm not ready to say he's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. I think he'll get in because it's a WWE Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But if I'm talking about like a career, like Miz has done this for 10 plus years. Gunther's in WWE's been a lot lower. Like I see him getting there,
Yeah.
Right.
but we have to wait till he gets there before we get there.
Gunther needs a legitimate big time win still to establish what he's done, but he is still one, if not the most dominant champion, probably in company's history.
Right. See, and I'm with Ed, but for a guy like Cody, because he needs that dominant win, he needs to get that title run.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Cody in just yet, but I think Cody's all but there. I think he'll get what he needs before it's all said and done.
Yeah,
and I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. To go ahead and address Sexy Legs in the chat, did you guys see the Seth Rollins reaction to the Punk debut? We played it right here for everybody if they hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it, describing it, and I said, screw it, I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Yeah, it's fantastic. And speaking of that, those in the chat, go ahead and drop your thoughts in here. We're going to go ahead one more time. We've had about an hour and 15 minutes to sit with it. Thoughts on the return, the coldest day in hell in WWE history. CM Punk is back in WWE. Parrish, your thoughts.
I think the best phrase is just when you thought you knew the answer, they changed the question. It's insane. Like, I honestly think CM Punk coming back to WWE is bigger than CM Punk coming back to wrestling. I truly think that's the big thing. People were shocked when he joined that FS1 WWE, like that
WWE
show
Backstage.
with Renee, Joe,
WWE
Punk,
Backstage,
and Paige. Yeah. They thought that was crazy. Then he comes back to AEW. Then all that stuff plays out. Not going to get into it. Don't need to be. Just when you thought the show was over, everything you were thinking that was probably going to happen, and then they made you believe it wasn't going to.
Yeah.
The amount of emotional, like when you hear emotional roller coaster, yeah, if you got sucked into that, you had the emotional roller coaster of a lifetime. And I actually test people. Go back and test the pop of Randy Orton and CM Punk. Holy crap. When was the last time you truly heard two reactions of that kind within 20 minutes of each other?
Right?
Yeah.
OMD.
Crazy.
Again, I had goosebumps, but again, disappointed because I've been an advocate for Punk riding off into the sunset because I do believe he's a cancer to the industry. Do I hope he can turn it around if he's back for these unsubstantiated term? I would love to see it. Can I discredit his work that he did previously? No. But do I want to see it? No. If he was on a Roman Reigns or a Brock type schedule, I could live with it. But if it's going to be full time, then he's got to cut the whining and the bullcrap.
Best.
Yeah, there's a bit of a morbid curiosity with me now with Punk, and I've been on the side with OMD where it's like I was just done with Punk, but I'm kind of intrigued to see where they go with him. And I really thought that Punk was that counterpoint to that quote that every wrestler says, never say never. But Triple H, man, he's got to be one hell of a sweet talker if he can get Punk back into the WWE.
I got Bruno back in WWE conversations with Vince.
The WWE's own Twitter account uses the words in all caps, never, say, never, for the return of CM Punk. Tom Lawler, filthy Tom Lawler himself, tweeted when I was just looking at his Twitter for it. I had to stop my Peacock and rewind it multiple times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. You know what? I'm not a CM Punk guy. I haven't been. I probably never will be. That being said, he's here now. I can't do anything about that. He's here now.
Right.
Do I think it's a good idea? I still say no. I still don't think it's a good idea. But Triple H knows far better than me what's best for business. And if he thinks this is best for business, then I'm gonna ride and die with Triple H at this point. He hasn't done it wrong yet.
But I mean, for how long have we been hearing from both sides? No, there's been no meetings with the boards, no meetings with the executives. There are no plans for CM Punk's return. We've been hearing this for about 4 months.
But from who? That's the thing. You hear about it, but you really don't know. Like, and that's just the thing. You can go online. You can hear the sources. But when the industry gets one over you, that's when you gotta believe that the business is really doing well.
Right?
Yeah.
However, to end the show, I do want to go ahead and, again, we're going to go back to Twitter one more time because we have to. He's obviously already gone back on it, so it's unfortunate, but if CM Punk returns tomorrow, I will officially retire from pro wrestling. Also, here's some bullshit that I can sell you.
Yeah.
By the way, I will tell you, I'm just going to hit the back button on this. Give me 1 second. Navigating 2 monitors is a pain in the ass for this. I will not be retiring. He had to return to AEW, and that did not happen. Thank you for supporting my bullshit company where I'm a racist and do bad things. So I wish he was retiring, but it doesn't sound like he's gonna.
Can we say that those AEW fans that were claiming that they had their tickets for the show tonight and were going to jump the barricade because if there was 20 of them, the security couldn't stop them, and they were going to hijack the show because Punk was not allowed to fight in WWE.
We're going to go around.
That's what really Seth Rollins was mad about.
Right.
Going around the horn, Mr. Chris Best. Chris Best, tell us where we can find you.
All right, you can find me at youtube.com at ChrisDamage83, Twitch TV, CBRS_entertainment, threads.net, CBestFilms83, Facebook.com, Chris.best83, and TikTok.com at CBRS.entertainment. You can look for me 8 p.m. Eastern alongside Parrish, alongside OMD, doing the Raw Watch Along. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. 8:05 Eastern on Tuesdays, I do Turnbuckle Talk. Yes, I forgot about Carl. I was going to mention him for Turnbuckle Talk, Parrish, as well. But me and Carl do as well. Turnbuckle Talk, 8:05 Eastern.
Mr. OMD, where can the good people find you?
The people can find me on the Book of Faces at Daniel Horisic. They can find me on the Chat of Snaps at One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM&D. And every Thursday, they can catch me on Twitch at OMD17. As well, visually, you can catch me every Monday night with Parrish, with Carl Carafel, with Chris Best on the Raw Watch Along, and occasionally or every other Tuesday on Turnbuckle Talk with Chris Best and Carl Carafel, as well as every Thursday night at 8 o'clock on the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke.
Mr. Chris Parrish.
You can find me at our local establishment with a man named Phil. But if you want to talk about the socials, then here we go. You can follow me on the Twitch. You can follow me on the Kick. You can follow me on the YouTube. Everything's scrolling down as you will. Every watch line to the PLEs I will be doing, or hopefully will be doing in the meantime. But tomorrow at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, you'll see me with Bobby Munson as we have Busting Out.
Oh boy, that show just got real interesting.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be a fun show.
I mean, I'm gonna make sure I drink all my Pepsi in preparation for that. But yeah, we're gonna have a good time. As Chris Best alluded to, we have the Monday Night Raw watch along, which could be very interesting as well. Raw just became more must see. But then on Wednesday, we can come see myself and Ed as we hit the ground running with our next PLE on Wrestle Draft.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was a fantastic show the other night. That was the first time I've gotten to see Wrestle Draft.
Thank you.
It's a fun time. We really enjoy ourselves on there.
Maybe I dethrone Ed at that show and become #1 once again. We will see. You got to tune in to find out. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Speaking of, before you talk about where you can find me, you can go ahead and double check our sponsor, Rogue Energy. They go ahead and give us the energy drinks that we need to get through every day. They are a healthier, less habit-forming energy drink that you can go ahead and have that's better for your body and better for your mind. They've had constant refills in their stock over the last couple of days. They've got a Black Friday sale going on, BOGO50. Use that promo code to get 50% off your tubs. They have all kinds of special deals going on, all kinds of great stuff that you can go in there and get. And remember, BOGO50 is going to be a great code to use if you want to use our promo code, which is OLE Pods, to get 10% off your whole order. BOGO50 will save you a bit more money. Go ahead and try them out with that special offer. And then if you like them, make sure you go ahead and use our code next time, OLE Pods, to get 10% off your order at rogueenergy.com. You can also find me on the X at Fries12584. You can find me on the Twitch, where I simulcast most of my Our Local Establishment content and do some of my own gaming content at EdFries2002. You can find me every Tuesday night with the lovely The Natural Asher Bizarro as we talk all things NXT directly after NXT airs every week. And remember that for Deadline coming up in a few weeks, 2 weeks from tonight, we are going to be having our great friend Jose on the air joining us for our preview and our post show, pulling double duty for us on that day. So make sure you go ahead and check it. We are going to go ahead and rate out again, like we did last night, to the one and only, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. Go ahead and send her some love, as she wasn't on the show tonight, but her good friend and tag team partner, Zoe Stark, had a hell of an effort. We're going to go ahead and send you guys there. We'll see you next time.
Ask her about Punk.
Don't ask her about Punk. But have a great night. Goodbye.